So how did that happen? How did your
I
parents?
lost my father
Yeah.
when I was 14, and family wanted to look after us, so we went to London. It was terrible times. I didn't speak English. I didn't have any friends. I lost all my friends and so on. It was tough times. Let's put it that way.
Too sociable for that.
Yeah, it was okay. It was boring for me. Let's put it this way.
But it's a great space to have.
It was a great experience, and I have to say, very useful for my future endeavors, if I can put it that way. Don't be scared in taking risks, because if you don't take risks, you don't progress.
I'm Farah Shammas. Welcome to Hotel Talk. We hope you enjoy listening to this friendly conversation between people connected by real life in hotels. Today I have with us a very special guest called Andreas Drakos, who I'm actually on a board with him. The holding company of St. Raphael Resort and Marina is called Alltime Tourist Complex, and Andreas sits on our board. But more importantly than that, he's a friend for so many years. We go back a long way. I actually did my work experience when I first finished. I did a few weeks working in his head office with Cyprotels, and he is the chairman of Cyprotels, which is a large group that he's going to tell us more about, and also has a aviation company again called Alltime Aviation, and many other hats on that he's going to tell us about now. Andrea, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the invitation. Lovely to be here.
Couldn't do this without you. So I want to learn something today. So I know you really well, but I'm going to ask you to start at the beginning and tell us about everything, your childhood, where you grew up, coming to Cyprus, how you started work, and what your first work was.
We have an hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have as long as you want.
Moved to London in 1972 at the age of 14 and a half.
So before the invasion?
Yes, it was just before.
So how did that happen? How did your parents?
I lost my father when I was 14, and family wanted to look after us, so we went to London. It was terrible times. I didn't speak English. I didn't have any friends. I lost all my friends and so on. It was tough times. Let's put it that way.
And a difficult age as well, at 14.
Yeah, to lose your father at that age, it was tough. It was tough. And life was difficult as well. So I had to work and study at the same time. I kept... I did everything from washing plates to cleaning warehouses, I remember, for my summer jobs.
And you were at school as well?
Yes. Selling fruit.
Wow.
That was exciting. And then luckily I got involved with the restaurant of my uncle, and I became a waiter, part-time, obviously. I was studying at the same time. And that helped, first of all, on the money side.
Obviously, financially.
The money side was good because of the tips. So I learned to smile and and be nice to people.
The act. Yeah.
And that helped a lot.
Wow.
I finished my degree in accountancy, started work as a chartered accountant for 2 years, and I realized that that was not for me. It was.
You're too sociable for that.
Yeah, it was okay. It was boring for me. Let's put it this way.
But it's a great space to have.
It was a great experience, and I have to say, very useful for my future endeavors, if I can put it that way. It really helped me understand. The business side, of the financial side of the business.
Yeah, which is the core. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, so as an auditor, I had to go around the whole of the UK. That was the good thing. doing audits even in Scotland, so in northeast of Scotland.
Amazing.
It was incredible to experience those areas. It gave me a taste of England, if I can put it that way. Or
Which
the
is
UK.
stunning.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so many
beautiful.
people don't even realize how pretty England is. They just think London, but the countryside
the beauty,
and
I mean,
Scotland
the lakes
as well.
and the Scotland and the lochs, and amazing place, amazing whiskey.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before. We need to have a whiskey now so we relax more.
I remember, Farah, one of our clients was Lord Seafield of Seafield, northeast of Scotland, and we had to stay there for about 2 weeks. It was winter, snowed down. We were staying in this beautiful pub. We were having our breakfast, lunch, dinners there, and then obviously doing work at the farm. It was a castle. It wasn't a farm, and I remember the innkeeper used to say to us, "Okay, how long you have?" I said 2 weeks. It's okay. Let's start from this side and start tasting all the whiskies over the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
So it was amazing to taste all those beautiful whiskies
in the heartland.
It has stayed in my mind for so many years now. That period kind of finished. I wanted to move on to, let's say, into business for my own. At that time, one of my clients, I was doing some VAT and reports, financial reports for one of my clients was my uncle, who had a small hotel and restaurant in North London. It was called Cipriana Hotel.
Okay.
33-bedroom hotel with a restaurant and takeaway. So I said to him, I was looking at his books. I realized that he wasn't paying too much attention to it, and because he was really a manufacturer of clothing, of ladies' clothes. And I suggested to him, why don't you rent it to me? We negotiated. He put the price up. However, he said to me, okay, I put the price up, but I give you a chance of paying me on a monthly basis instead of, putting deposits and so on. So he helped on that side. And that's how I started into the hotel industry.
Oh my goodness, that was one of my, look here, my second question. Why hotels?
Well,
you said I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. And
and it was successful.
Yes. What I actually did, at that time, we had a lot of coaches coming from Athens to London. It was very popular at that time. I remember £25 to go to Athens and another 25 to come back. So £50 you could go to Athens and back. It was taking 3 days. And
wow, literally coaches.
Coaches, coaches, 3 day all the way.
Did they have beds on, or was it just seats?
No, just seats.
Oh.
People used to go because, especially it was the young people.
Yeah.
We had a lot of Australia and New Zealanders. They used to
like backpackers.
come over, because they used to come over for their European
tour.
And then the coaches gave them that very good price, and so a lot of them used to stop over in Brussels or in Switzerland, and then pick it up again and go until they go to Athens. And in order to bring business into the hotel, I thought, why don't I go to all these coach operators and convince them to use the hotel as their, let's say, arrival port for London. And they said, and at that time, the underground was finished by 11 o'clock. So any late arrivals, they had to stay somewhere. So I used to get quite a lot of customers into the hotel because of that. And
An example of thinking outside of the box. Yeah.
Slowly that filled up the hotel. And then they asked me, the coach operators asked me, can you assist us in loading the coaches on the way out, on the way back to Athens, and can you help us sell some tickets? I said, fine. So what I did, I got a friend from a travel company. I recruited him, put a desk in the hotel, and we started the travel company called Cypriana Travel.
Oh my goodness!
That's how I started my travel business.
And this was in
1982.
82, okay.
82. And at that time, the business of travel was at the infancy, at the beginning. And there were very few tour operators. It was Thomson Holidays at the time. Thomas Cook was just about a small company. We had two big Cypriots. One was the Budget Holidays and the other one the Gresham Group or Cypriana. And that was it. So the demand was incredible. And suddenly from absolutely nothing, the business was bringing in about 5 million turnover over the next 2 years.
Because then you weren't just selling the coaches, then you started airlines.
Especially the Australians, they used to say, okay, they arrived from Athens, let's say you're from Brussels, and they said, okay, I need to go to various destinations. So they started buying air tickets to various destinations.
And these were the days of the printed tickets, travel agents.
Printed tickets, everything. I mean, it was, and then we saw a demand for tickets for Greece. And all the agents that I used to represent, they started representing us in the Greek islands and Athens and Salonika to find us accommodation. And then we started tour operating business into, I remember the first one was in Athens and Poros Island.
Yeah.
I will never forget. We used to rent a room, 500 drachmas, which was £1. So 1 week stay, it was £7 per person. So, and the tickets at that time was about £90. So with about £129, you were going for a week holiday in a Greek island. So
amazing.
Yeah. So things were booming at the time.
And the name at that point, it was Libra, or that came later?
No. At that time was Cypriana Holidays, and then in '86, my uncle saw the progress, and he started saying, "This is an interesting business. Can we do maybe something bigger?" And I said, "I only know direct selling. It was not through agents." And there was an opportunity at that time to buy Olympic Holidays in '86. So my uncle negotiated with the CAA and the insurance company to buy the company Olympic Holidays together with me, amalgamated or grouped everything together with my business as well. And so it was Libra.
The example of vertical integration at the time, which was such a massive thing.
And it was, I have to say that it was too big of a group for me to look after. I was quite young, inexperienced in the, let's say, the selling through the travel agencies. I only knew about the direct market. And after a year or two, I was struggling. And I said to my uncle, this cannot carry on. We need management. And at that time, George and Agis, George Mihailias and Agis Christoforou, and Bilinos were leaving the Grecian holidays group. So I remember I found Agis in the airport, and I said to him, "Why don't you come and join us?" And that was it. They came in.
You were traveling somewhere. He was traveling somewhere,
we were
and
actually
then
going back to London from Cyprus at that time.
it's amazing how many people you meet at airports and what.
Oh my God! And so many interesting
we need,
people as well.
Podcast just for that. Yeah.
I even met my neighbor in London when at the airport of Larnaca. And
you hadn't seen him in so many years.
I never knew him. And he was actually a guy from Palestine. And and he said to me, "I know you from somewhere." I said, "I know you from..." We carried on talking, and then I said to him, "Where do you live?" He said, in this road. And I said to him, "In that road? What number?" He says, 16. I said, "My God, I'm 18. So we met. So we're now friends forever.
You know, that happened to me here at the hotel with my neighbor here in Limassol, who I'd never met. I think I'd been living in the house, maybe less than a year. And this person came, they come and go. And then she was saying, her and her husband, "Oh yeah, we live close." "Where's close?" Da, 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 da. And then she said the name of the street. And I said, "I only know one street. I live there." But impossible. I mean, the way she was. And then, we basically live opposite. And we met at the hotel, but not in the neighborhood.
But not in the neighborhood. Busy life. I mean.
So then, so you got management in.
Then we negotiated with owners abroad at that time, and they bought the company out. I left at that time, and
you sold because it just got too big, or you weren't enjoying it, or
the reality was it became too big. Management that came in had different ideas of running, because they were running a group. With management structures and so on. And that was not the way I developed the direct business. It was more of a family.
Yeah, family friendly.
So it wasn't enjoyable, let's put it this way. And I realized that they would do a much better job anyway.
Yeah.
So
the circle had come to an end.
So I concentrated on the business out of the hotel at that time, the small hotel. And at that time, there was the development of the council-led flats. By accident, one day, this couple came with kids staying in the hotel. And then they said to me after a week, "Do you mind if our bills are paid by the council?" I said, "As long as they pay."
Exactly.
I don't mind. And the council came and looked at the hotel, and they liked what they saw. And they said to me, "Would you rent the hotel?" I said, "No, I can only rent maybe a few rooms." It was 33 rooms. I said maximum 11 rooms on one floor. But I have to vet the people as well. I don't want, rough and so on. And then I began that relationship. And this is back in 86, 87 that it started.
Like an early form of a commitment contract.
Yes, it was. Yeah, you're right.
It's a perfect. A third of the hotel on commitment, and you're done.
And then I said to them, when I finish doing my, let's say, travel group, I said to the council, "Would you accept, instead of a hotel room, if I find apartments around the hotel, would you take them on?" And they said, "What about breakfast?" I said, "I buy them breakfast either at the hotel, or I buy them, the eggs and
But why did the council need overnight?
They are obliged, not overnights. They normally house people.
Yeah.
until they find them a proper
Ah,
house.
so it's a temporary housing
Temporary
that they were
housing,
using.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And then I expanded the management of the
Like
apartments.
apartments.
And I started also buying apartments because I had the demand, I had the money coming in. So it was easy at the time to buy property. And that's how I started looking after the property side.
Property
in London.
management. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that's another thing that
Yeah.
you didn't know.
I'm learning lots today.
Yes.
So from there,
Yes,
how and
92,
when did you
93.
come? Yeah.
I moved to Cyprus.
Yeah.
In 92, yeah. One of my endeavors whilst I was still at the hotel and that business, a friend of mine who became a friend coming to the hotel and the restaurant, he had a small manufacturing unit of walking aids, crutches.
Okay.
And
Zimmer frames and things like that. Okay.
And he says to me, I don't have any representation in Greece and Cyprus. I said, have a friend. Let's go to Athens. Let's talk to him. Maybe he can take it over for you. So I did. I introduced him to my Gumbaros. He was a childhood friend. And then we decided to represent him. Marius, my friend, said, I love the business, the area, but I don't have enough money. And I said, how much do you think is going to be a requirement? So he says to me about £5,000 at that time. And I said, okay, I become an investor. You look after it in Greece. So we started the medical business representation. From those crutches, we started representing huge companies, Becton Dickinson, Fresenius, and so on. And slowly it was becoming a reasonably successful business too. And in 89, 90, I said, okay, let's get that representation of all the things that we have in Greece. Let's bring it to Cyprus. And that's when I started Pub Medical Cyprus. And in 89, so it's now 33 years.
Wow.
And that business is representing a lot of international companies. Is managed by Eva, you know Eva, and Andros Piberidis, who is in Nicosia. He's the salesman. Eva was doing the administration.
Yeah, your sister-in-law.
Yeah, and I was playing the big boy.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, the idea, it's amazing. You can't belittle that.
And in 92, my brother, who was still in London, together with my accountant at the time in the office, said to me, come on, we need to revisit the travel group. And I said, okay.
And you still had the hotel at that point?
Yes. Yeah. We bought a small hotel in the center. I gave it back the hotel to my uncle, and I bought a small 21-bedroom hotel in Gloucester Place. Noble Hotel now is. And we carried on with council and all the other business. And in 92 they suggested that we do the travel. I said, okay, you have to be very careful. We have to do very slowly. We will start with Corfu. I remember we only do 2,000 maximum people for Corfu. Those 2,000 within 3 years became about 50,000, not just in Corfu, but all Greece. It was Greece at the time. And then as it was becoming bigger and bigger, I got a bit more involved as well. I was living in Cyprus, so traveling at that time was terrible for me. I used to go on Monday and come back on Friday to see the kids, and it's the Price Right. That was the name of the companies. Again, selling directly was growing quite fast. In '96, I had the opportunity to discuss with Mr. Lordos, the Lordos Group, and we bought Libra Holidays from the family. Libra Holidays was, again, like Olympic in the old days, selling through the travel groups and so on, the travel agencies.
Yeah.
And that's how it kind of evolved. And then
you went back into hotels.
one thing I forgot about is in Greece, back in '92, we were, for the medical business, we were kind of helping out this European Society of Regional Anesthesia. We were helping them out to do their Congress in Athens. They were absolutely useless, and they called me last day. Andreas knows about travel, and I said, okay, I help you out. And I helped them out in September in 1991, actually. And then they loved what I did and how things progressed. And then in '92, the Secretary General of the society said to me, Andreas, please, I need your help. I said, what? And he says to me, we are doing the World Congress of Regional Anesthesia, and I'm lost. I'm lost. I'm getting money from all over the place, and I don't know what to do. I mean, I cannot match them. I cannot. It's too many people. And then I said to him, okay, let me look into it. It was in Brussels. It was at the Palais de Congrès of Brussels. It was 2,500 people expected. And there was nothing, no organization, no hotels arranged, no transport, no nothing. So I said to him, okay, I'm going to invest to do this. I have to bring in people. I cannot employ people and then say to them goodbye. Give me a 5-year contract. And the agreement will be, we will do everything except the scientific part. The scientific part you take care of, but we do everything else.
All the ground handling, the event organizing, basically become a DMC.
Yeah, but I ended up doing the printing for their books. And I remember with Felice printers at the time. Now he's we were working until 3 or 4 o'clock in the day, in the morning, to get their book ready for the Congress, because everybody was sending, all the doctors were sending their theses and so on last minute. That business eventually became Options Euro Congress, and it was listed in Cyprus in '97. Was the first service company that was listed in Cyprus, and then it was very successful. At the time, we were doing about 8 different European congresses, because they liked the model. Other societies were coming to us to do the same. So we had an office in Brussels, and in Switzerland, and Greece and Cyprus. And it was growing quite a lot. And the listing in the public company here became a public company here. And then the group that listed us, Sherling, the investment managers, suggested that we do the same for Libra.
Mm.
That's in 98,
I was going to
99.
say, 98, 99,
Yeah, we listed Libra Holidays in the Cyprus Stock Exchange. I remember we raised about 2 million for Libra. But then it gave us the opportunity with the paper to utilize it to acquire other business. And our objective was to be a vertically integrated travel group. And we did the first purchase of a small hotel in Ayan Naba, in Prodaras, actually, sorry, the Chrysler Cove. And then we bought a small public company called Drusha Heights in Drusha.
Yeah, Paphos area.
Paphos area. And because it was listed, so we bought 51%, Libra bought 51% of that company. Then we started buying other small hotels until we made a bid for the Astarte group at the time, which was the Cypria, Maris, Cypria, and
Bay later.
and the Laura. The Bay we actually built ourselves. We built it ourselves. So that's how we got into the hotel side.
That's how I know how you grew. And then you became, if I remember correctly, 17 hotels, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
In Greece, in Cyprus, and so on.
So was it a good thing then going public?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
At least for us, they helped us grow. The problem with the Cyprus market, because it's a small market, it was manipulated by many people. And the reality of when you go public in order to raise capital to develop your business. When you develop at a higher level, you need different kind of capital to the next level. To do that in Cyprus was impossible to get, especially after
get more capital a second time.
And also because of all the problems that people encountered back then, losing money on the shares and so on. Nobody wanted to invest again, so you had to rely on the banks to do things, and that's one of our mistakes. Overborrowed at that time, so people need to be careful.
Over leveraging
with the growth. Our belief at that time was going to be that through the market we'll be able to reduce the debt and so on, but it didn't.
So volatile tourism.
Yes, that's one of the things that we all need to be aware. One of our biggest problems was the deal we did with Thomas Cook for the hotels in Paphos. We had commitment from Thomas Cook of about 10 million, and then they had problems themselves. So they said, we cannot pay you. So we were stuck, absolutely stuck. So that's
cash flow is such a massive thing. And we've seen so many companies in this industry, close overnight. And on paper, they're fine. But cash flow is
crucial. The cash flow is essential because you don't pay your aircraft, you don't fly.
Yeah.
The problems of the hotel industry is the major problem, in my opinion, is the capital intensive business. You need to spend a lot of money. Apart from the acquisition, is the upkeep. And unless you have other capital to take you through either the renovation cycle that you need to do or to take you through if you have a problem with cash flow some of the times. It's a very dangerous scenario.
Amazing.
Yeah, so...
And so here we are. And then you're also on Alltime Aviation, so you do private.
We forgot about the aviation side.
Yeah, well, we are. It is hotel talk after all, so we're concentrating on the hotels.
Yes,
but yeah, it's all part of the tourism side.
In 2000, when we were listed, as I said before, we wanted to be a vertically integrated group.
Mm-hmm.
So as we grew in the UK to about 250,000 passengers,
wow,
it was becoming more and more difficult to get capacity for
seats.
For seats and the right seats. You could get the
right times and
Wednesday night, Thursday night, and so on. But those are not the good seats.
Yeah, people want Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
So in 2000, we bought the group bought a small airline in the UK with 3 aircraft.
Yeah,
I remember we paid about 5.5 million sterling at the time, and then within a year we converted the name into Excel, and the management that we brought in was ex-British Caledonia and quite experienced. And within 5 years, that airline was flying 35 aircraft at the time.
huge.
We at the beginning, the airline was relying on the Libra Group to give them the business. But what we did slowly, every year we were reducing our Libra seats in the aircraft and giving it to other smaller tour operators. So from committing to an aircraft of 189 seats, the following year was 150, the following year 100, and the third year we only committed
How did that
50.
work for the Libra group? Was that, good for the overall group, or was that?
It was very profitable. It was making about 13 million a year at the time. It was very good.
Yeah.
Because slowly that airline started selling to all the rest of the tour operators, apart from the ones that had the airlines, apart from Thomson and Thomas Cook at the time. Jet2 was not around.
Yeah. It's like different eras. Every few years, it's like a completely different stage of our industry.
Actually, the managing director of Jet2, Steve Hippie, used to work for us.
Oh, really? I don't know. Did I know that? Maybe I did actually. Yeah. It's like, wow.
And that business suddenly was becoming huge. It was turning over about 800 million at the time. And there was no way we could manage it ourselves. We were mainly owners and controlling through the board, but it was really becoming too big for us to.
It's huge.
Especially, I was the one going from Cyprus to London every week, like I said before, Monday to Friday. So we had an offer from the Icelandics to sell it, and we sold it in 2004.
Okay.
And then we had the unfortunate purchase and accident.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it.
No, we won't go into it now because I think it's just too upsetting for everyone, and it is. It's just something that no one ever would want or ever could have imagined could have happened. Yeah.
Terrible. We didn't even manage to get in. It was we bought it in December and It happened in August.
In August, yeah. And I told you I saw
remember.
a movie, not a movie, it was a series on TV
Yeah.
that was based on that, and
Based
just
on
how, a combination of human error
errors,
and just faults in a design can amount to such
Correct.
a horrific accident. It was just unthinkable on so many levels.
Yeah.
So that's then when you exited
I think I told you.
Well, I know this is
My
the
life
in-depth.
story.
We love it. This is what we want to. So then, so you still had Libra, and you still had Cyprotels.
Yes. Well, what I realized with the accident, we kind of tried to save the airline and carry on, but then the tour operator was affected because suddenly seat capacity was not there. The airline had to be financed until we tried to do it for a year. We lost a lot of money at the time. So basically, we were borrowing, and the banks were very helpful at the time. They wanted us to borrow because they had abundance of cash, and they just wanted to give it.
Good era, yeah.
And the reality, we overborrowed. And then we kind of realized that the airline could not carry on, so we stopped it.
So in hindsight, would you have stopped it sooner, the airline? Yeah, immediately.
I would have do it immediately. Mm-hmm. Sometimes in business, you really need to know when to cut it.
Yeah.
Cut the
strings.
The strings, yes. And we didn't. And then I realized that the tour operating was not going to go anywhere. We were trying to sell it. We eventually found somebody who basically divested. We divested, meaning that he put money. He got the 90%, I remember, of the tour operating.
90?
90.
Okay, wow.
He just wanted us to be with a 10% continuation.
Mm-hmm.
And we sold it in 2007, I think. They carried on about 2-3 years, and then they stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they did it, but it was Steve Hippie.
Yeah, he was there. Steve, he keeps coming up. Steve, if you're listening, we've got to get you on this podcast next. When you're next in Cyprus. It's amazing how, I mean, in you being so honest and open about your professional life, how all these different businesses have their cycles. And that's to do with, demand at the time, with technology, with what's needed. I know like in Lebanon, like really, a really silly example now, but how clubs and bars and restaurants always worked really well. And while they were at their peak, owners would often close them for a couple of weeks, reopen with a different name, and spread a rumor that the management or owners had changed, which they hadn't. But they were still the same because they said, right, why should it go down before it goes down? And they were still the owners, but they'd say, let's say it's someone new. And
That's
just to keep on. But it takes a lot of courage to do that. And also it's your baby. It's like saying, oh, well, I loved you, but, I'm done with Mexican food now. Now we're going for Indonesian.
So true what you say.
And and just to have, I think, that guts to really say, right, this worked, but it's time to move on. And I think that's what Steve Jobs always did and why it worked so well. But then that leads us on to another thing of how do you balance, your happiness, your sense of purpose, and your family and everything else with your work, which is,
you kind of get lost into work, unfortunately, especially when you do a lot of things. And then definitely relationships suffer. Thank God I had a very understanding woman.
Yeah, your amazing wife who you've been with for, I don't know how many years.
37 years.
37 years. I was going to say 4 decades. I was close.
Yeah, close.
Yeah.
actually 38.
There you go.
38 years.
And three lovely children.
Three wonderful kids. Two of them are working with me now, and then the youngest is still in the UK. He's working as in the IT and marketing business, actually. And he doesn't want to come back at the moment.
So how did you balance it? Because, I mean, your children are lovely kids. Okay, you've got an amazing wife, which helps.
Yeah.
That's an understatement. But how did you manage it? Because you are a close family. I think you've got a really good relationship with your children and definitely with your wife. So how did you manage to find that balance?
As I said to you, I used to go Monday and come back Friday just to be with the kids, at least for the weekend.
Yeah, so quality time.
Yeah, I know they were still suffering in the sense that I wasn't there on a daily basis, but at least they were in touch with me and hopefully the outings on the weekends. And also I always kind of insisted at least 2-3 weeks to go around on holidays around the world. And that also ties you in and gives you memories, building memories. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I have to say, during the Congress business, because that business were always requiring you to travel around, especially the European cities. And then during the congresses, I used to always make sure that Dora and possibly the kids will go with me, even though for a week. So it was kind of a nice get-together, if I can put it.
I think it also helps for the kids not to feel resentful for your work. I don't know, that's what I'm hoping will happen with my kids. If they feel a little bit involved in it, if they can understand what the parent is doing and feel pride for both their parents and and also for the work, then they feel less resentment. And
that's so true. Very true, actually, what you say.
Yeah.
And I think the kids did feel that.
I think they're definitely proud of you. Yeah. And there's a lot of love there. I see your family.
Sometimes.
Oh, don't worry, Andrea, we're all going to mess up. That's the only thing we're sure of. We'll make mistakes, but hopefully to be good.
I always say this proverb or this saying, show me somebody who doesn't make mistakes and I show you an idiot.
It's true. Yeah, or someone who doesn't
try. If you don't make mistakes, you don't learn. That means you're not doing, you don't take actions, you don't do this, you don't do that, scared of not making a mistake.
And you're not living.
You're not living.
Yeah. That's something we said on one of the other podcasts, I think with Elizabeth Villiga Tufexi. We said, you'll never regret what you did in life, but you will regret what you didn't.
Correct.
and that's the point to live. Yeah, and just do your best.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you a little bit about hotels now and just say, so you had so many hotels under you at one stage and you were on the board and you obviously were the leader and setting the direction and the culture and the kind of mindset. But my goodness, did you have a lot of managers to deal with and then a lot of management under that? So obviously, and we don't have to get into that, but you must have had your favorites, the one you like more, the ones you understood more. And having seen so many different types of managers, what makes a good hotel manager?
I think everybody works very hard to try and perform as well as possible. I think character is what is.
Well, you think everybody does? Everybody can. I wouldn't say that everyone I've seen.
They are trying in their own mind that they are doing their best of what they should be doing.
Okay.
However, we are in the hospitality industry. It says hospitality, and it means that you need to be friendly, hospitable, and so on and so on. So the key is looking after the client, the customer. At the end of the day, if you don't look after them and you just look at have to reduce my cost here, have to get you here. And all those are important, but more important is be in touch with your customers.
And their needs.
And then not only look after them, but create that environment that will make them feel that they are absolutely wanted by you and the staff, and also provide to them the entertainment, the facilities that they will wish to have on every holiday that they do. So it's very important, in my opinion, for the manager to be out and about and be with the guests. The other work that is very essential as well, looking after cost and looking about the organization. So
and the operational side.
You can do that, but you can do that, let's say, in the morning, and then be out and also create and develop products for the customer that will make them really enjoy the 2 weeks that they're here with you, the week or 2 weeks.
Yeah. And the experience, make sure that experience is the best.
And also, as a hotelier, you try to. That's why, as part of being in the hotel, you need good catering, you need entertainment, you need facilities everywhere if you can. But it's very difficult in any hotel not to have a grumpy guest. Somebody who,
in life, isn't it? It's not just in a hotel. It's
everywhere.
In a family, it's difficult,
It's part of life.
Part of life.
If you start arguing with him, and instead of saying, yes, sir, how can I help? Sorry, we messed it up. Let's try and correct you. What do you want? Upgrade you. Let's do this, do that. A lot of the managers will get upset because it's very upsetting and insulting sometimes as well. But if you kind of create some humility within yourself and you say sorry and let me correct it, let me do this, let me do that for you, that grumpy person may eventually apologize and have a happier few days. Most of the times they don't. However, you stop him having the issues spread in the hotel.
Having more reason,
and spreading it around the hotel.
Yes, true. Because if they're unhappy, they go and they find someone at the bar, they sit next to someone at the pool. And sometimes
with this one, I have a problem with that one.
And sometimes you have to remind yourself that it's not personal. Like some people have a lot going on in their own lives. They're just, unhappy for whatever reason. Yeah. And it's not to do with you or your service or the hotel or anything else. And you've just got to do your best to...
It's probably they had a fight last night with their wife and or the girlfriend or the other way, the husband. And
exactly.
So they are upset. And you just, if you kind of say but why and argue with them, then he flares up without any reason.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Say, sorry. And
so humility, humility is key. So I'm looking through my notes now. My last question for you is, who influenced you the most in your life?
Wow.
It could be someone you know well. It could be someone famous,
To be honest, initially it was my uncle who had a fighting spirit. He always used to say, don't be scared in taking risks, because if you don't take risks, you don't progress. And the other thing is that if you kind of fall into a pit and it's full of S ... you will have to fight to come out of it. If you don't, you're going to be drown in it. So go
Become a fighter.
become a fighter. Take your risk, calculate it as much as possible, but it's still a risk. And then that was quite for a long time my motto as well. The other people that influenced me, definitely Branson, was because of the aviation link and so on. He very much influenced me. And
although I do like, I always remember his quote with that Richard Branson when he was asked on an interview, how did you become a millionaire? And he said, "Oh, it's very easy. You have to become a billionaire and then you just buy an airline."
That's what he said, yeah.
So I always think of that as the...
I will never forget, we were in a Greek restaurant in London, and with the Libra group during the World Travel Market. And then next to us, it was Richard, together with about 10 girls. And then they got up to leave, and he started kissing all of them. And I said, "Oh my God, Richard, you're kissing all the girls." "I kiss you too," he said. so I had a kiss on the cheek from him. So it was nice. And
Nice
he did
guy.
say hello, and he was a very pleasant guy.
Yeah.
Very pleasant guy. You mentioned Steve Jobs as well. I mean, that guy, his story is incredible.
It's amazing.
Again, he's...
Maybe you relate as well with well, actually, so yeah, he didn't know his parents, I think. Yeah, his real, no.
He found out about his...
that he was adopted.
And
And I think he never wanted to meet them either.
He didn't want to, but he knew who
they were.
Iranian guy.
Yeah, it was an Iranian and I think an American mother. But he just said it wasn't important in his life. He had his parents. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is admirable.
but his approach to the business was very good. But
and also how he coped with failure every time and disappointment and then just rose up.
But that's what my uncle said.
Yeah.
If you're in that pit, you have to fight to come out.
Yeah. And I'm sure, we'll go into psychology a bit now, but having been a young boy that lost their father, usually that does make people fight harder and want to become a breadwinner.
Well, I'll tell you I remember the first job I did was in a wimpy bar in Turpak Lane. I went there. I was...
Wimpy, like the hamburgers. Yeah.
I was just around 15 at the time. And I said to him, he was a Turkish Cypriot. And he says to me, "Okay, you come and I will pay you 60p an hour." I said, "Okay." So it was during the summer of 73, actually. And I went there, worked for a week. And then he paid me, and he paid me 50p. I said, "Why?" He says to me, "It was your first week. Next week, I'll pay you again 60. I remember going into I was washing plates, basically, because I couldn't serve. My English was very limited. And I remember crying whilst washing, and I promised myself at that time never to allow myself or my family to go through this again. But then the following week, this Turkish Cypriot guy again paid me 50p. And I said, "My God," I mean, I was 15 years old, to take, I don't know, a few pounds away.
The end of a
they
week.
meant a lot for me, but nothing for him. And it was very upsetting. And
he didn't pay you more.
No.
And did you leave or did you stay in that job?
I found a job cleaning the warehouse floor. So
good for you though at 15 not to...
the problem at that time, they wouldn't employ you unless you were 16 plus.
Yeah, and he was taking advantage of that.
Advantage.
But it's awful how some people do that, but also how that taught you such a lifelong lesson of never to let anybody take advantage.
I never learned though. I'm still
a nice guy. Oh, well, we like you just the way you are, Andrea. I think you're fabulous. And honestly, I'm just so humbled and so grateful that you've shared your full story with me fully, because I didn't know all of this, but with everybody else listening, because I think it's not easy to,
to
bear it all and to share it all. And I think there's so much we can take from that. Also just from you being so young and having to learn commerce in this way, whether it was washing plates, cleaning floors, and then getting into the accounts. I mean, your base for business really, for me, I can understand completely how somebody who came from such a humble background catapulted really themselves into such heights of, the working world. And you've done so much for Cyprus and for so many people and communities, employing them, being there for them.
Well,
and as far as I know,
I hope I've always had for people. And,
everybody has always said they've enjoyed working with you, and you're a great boss. So
that's nice to hear. Thank you.
Final question, which is not from me, the crystal bowl. You remember the crystal maze in England?
Yes.
Anyway, so this is our crystal bowl. So pick any piece of paper from here. I'll read it out to you. So this is our team have put together quite a lot of questions. Wow. Sometimes they've written who is Stone? Someone said Stone. I don't know who that is. A code name. You know who you are. So they've said, what's your favorite restaurant of our hotel? Sometimes they're deeper questions than this, and other times simple. I think I know the answer to this, but tell us.
I'll give you one guess.
Actually,
I'm a regular.
You're a regular of two, but I was going to say Sailors.
Yes.
Sailors, yeah.
It's amazing.
You love
place.
Sailors.
I still want to convince you that to do the champagne bar at the top.
I think at some point we're going to have to do it, to do a nice, on the second floor, to do a nice bar.
It's the most beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know about champagne though. We don't want to drink champagne. We want whiskey.
No.
Let's do a whiskey bar.
Yeah. Whiskey bar or
Who cares about champagne?
That's a very good idea.
Let's do a whiskey bar.
Whiskey bar or cocktails.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the view from there is incredible.
Incredible.
I mean, every guest and friend I take there, they love the place. I mean, it's the only location that you're looking from the sea.
From the sea to into Limassol. You feel like you're on a lake. Yeah. Well, I think, obviously I'm biased, but I think for me, part of the Sailors' appeal is just the ease of it. I mean, it's a nice drive to get there from whether you're coming from Nicosia or Limassol town. It's just a pleasant drive. You never have a problem parking.
Correct.
The service is good. You know what you're going to get. The quality of food is good.
That's
and there's something for everyone to eat. From a vegan to a meat eater to a fish.
Yeah. No, don't change that environment. I'm just saying on top.
Yeah, we need
just the top. Don't change the Sailors' rest. You're right, because the ease, the casual but nice. You know what I mean.
Yeah, you're having a treat, but you don't. It's not snobby.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
And also, obviously,
and now Golden Monkey. Golden Monkey is a close second, for you. I know some people, they definitely say it's their first. The Thai food, Golden Monkey is great.
Yes,
it's nice.
Amazing. Good idea.
Yeah, thank you.
It was your shadow.
Yes, you were there at the board meeting when everyone was fighting against the idea of a Thai. You remember, let's do Italian. And I was like, no. And then
you introduced something new in Limassol, and it's very
and people
attractive.
saying Indian, and the other idea was Polynesian, and I was like, gross, no, we want Thai. Yeah, it's been nice. It's been a journey also to do that and introduce that. But it's, as you said, it's all about taking risks and enjoying the ride.
Don't take risk, you don't progress.
Yeah.
So, and you've done very well here. So.
Thank you, my dear.
I remember you as a young girl.
I know, fresh out of studies.
What a change. and you're combining everything with motherhood as well. It's incredible. Bravo.
It's fun.
Bravo.
You know the drill. 3 kids and a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's nice to see them when you bring them around as well in the business. So as you said,
I know.
It's maybe that's the best way for them to
understand and not feel resentful.
Not
I
to
think
be
so.
resentful,
Yeah,
because they. Yeah.
And it's funny now because they come into the hotel and they'll notice things that I don't, and they'll say, "Mummy, there's a bit of dirt there," or this wall needs to be painted quickly. And I'm like, "Oh, thanks for telling me."
And you have to then take them and say, "Look, I did it."
Yeah,
that would be very important. For
you. Absolutely. So thank you so much, Andrea. Every success in everything you do. And I can't wait to see what will come, because you are very far from being done, and there's so much more.
I want to relax a bit now and let the kids take over.
Let's see, with your influence.
Hopefully I made a good job with the kids.
I'm sure, I can tell you for sure you have.
Anyway,
thank you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say all this.
Thank you.
Thank you.